Welcome to Marsha's Plate, a Black trans-inclusive feminist podcast. A place where we know that not everybody is invited to the cookout. And we also know that every single day is a brand new day, and we have the power to make a difference today. So let's do this. It's a new day, brand new day, make it better than yesterday. You can always find a way to turn it all around again. It's a new day, brand new day, make it better than yesterday. You can always find a way to start over again. Tuesday, when the sun rises, you can start over again. A new day, you can make it better than yesterday. It's a new day, it's a new day, new day. There's a way you can turn it around. Trust me, there's a way out. There's more time. Just don't give up. When the sun rises on a new day, you got another chance. Yeah, 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 yeah. A new day, you got another chance. If you want to join the conversation, you can hashtag Marsha's Plate. You can follow us on most social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. Just search for Marsha's Plate, MARSHASPLATE. Y'all ready? Let's get started.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
What's going on?
Oh gosh, have y'all heard about this Butch Queen? Do I want to say his name? I ain't gonna say his name, but there's this Butch Queen. He's been kind of going viral a little bit, but he dusty little boy, little Butch Queen child.
I think we should say I know that we don't want to give him any clout, but I think we should say his name for reference purposes so that the people know who we talk about. Because a lot of the girls already know who the DL Whisperer is, honey. I was kind of late on the train. I don't know when you discovered him, but you might have been kind of late on the train too, Diamond.
No, I've been seeing him since when he started, when he first went viral. So when it wasn't about the girls and it was just about him and his stuff.
The DL, his obsession with the DLs.
So Jay, I know you don't know nothing about it. So there is a Butch Queen he goes by the name of DL Whisperer and cisgender gay boy. And he started off talking about DL men and kind of, I don't know, would you say it was kind of like a call to cisgender women about, how DL boys get down? Like he
I think that he was pandering to cisgender women by exposing DL guys, and in some cases they really were. And from my understanding, because I never followed them much, but from my understanding, in some cases the people actually weren't DL. From my impression, he kind of tried to give straight women tips
yeah.
on how to clock if men were DL as well.
Oh,
So from my impression, he was exposing guys and also trying to coach cis straight women into how to be able to clock DL guys. And I get it. He saw the niche, he saw the market for it, because every 3 business days on social media, we have a cishet woman talking about DL men and how she don't want DL men and how can you tell if my man is gay and all them things. So I get it, but yeah, this person is trash. That's why we really didn't want to say his name. But
so
Yeah.
what are the ways that he's saying that he's able to clock? Is he basically like policing gender and shit, gender expression, and saying those are the reasons, or what?
It's a
he's
bunch of bullshit. It's just a bunch of bullshit that doesn't really. We all know that how DL men, DL women, DL anybody. They come in all shapes, sizes. They move a million different type of ways. Shit, they're fucking feminine men that are DL. It is masculine men that are DL. It's thugs. It's corporate niggas that are DL. It's husbands that are DL. Single men that are DL. It's all. Some DL men don't get on the app. Some of the DL men do get on the app. Some of them are tricks and clients and johns, and some of them are not. Some of them do it all the time, and some of them do it rare moments when it's opportunity comes. It is so many ways that people sexuality manifests, and they keep it private, that you what the defin there can't be a streamlined definition of what DL is and how they move. It's just bullshit.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, a
when
bunch of reinforced stereotypes and
yes,
policing masculinity, policing femininity, policing people's gender expression, policing people's mannerisms, and all of that, which is bullshit. Because I mean, at the end of the day, some of the people who you see that may be perceived as gay or queer and the most flamboyant, loud, queenie personalities, people gag when they can't. I know a boy, for example, who I grew up with. Shout out to classmate. He listens to us. Hey, Jovan. But Jovan has always been really feminine. Throughout our whole growing up, he always gravitated more toward the girls, and no, none of the queens could ever sleep with Jovan, and that was on for a long time. It was like a goal. It was like like Jovan was the Olympics, and who could get the gold, honey. But Jovan is just a man who has an alternative expression based on what we perceive as masculine, and has a lot of feminine traits, a lot of feminine mannerisms, and he's never attempted to hide that or fit into a box or disguise. And he just so happens to only be interested in feminine people who have vaginas.
and when I heard this person doing this, just like all the other grifts, the coons, that's grifting,
The grifts, yes.
the MAGA people, the fucking any kind of grift that we see, we can tell when you are doing this for clickbait, you are doing this for clicks, you are doing this for
Right.
some type of traction. Like I could tell it. And so because of that,
It's not
while
righteous.
while I'm seeing it, I'm like, I don't really care about this. So I don't really deep dive into it. I don't really give a fuck. I've been living this life for a very long time. So I know a couple of things about DL men. So I don't need any tips about no motherfucking DL men. I know how they move. I know how they are. I know that they come in different shapes and sizes. So I didn't really think about it. But because I'm a social media girl, I run across videos and clips and people, him doing his thing or whatever. So I was ignoring it a lot, like ignoring it and not really worried about it, because it's the type of it's simple. It's one of the reasons why I block like the Shade Room and the Jasmine brand and Hollywood Unlocked. I block those kind of sites because I know that they're just kind of bullshit. They're kind of like their intention is to be propaganda and to be clickbait and rage bait and all that kind
Right.
of stuff. So
Exactly.
I block those kind of people, and so
Mhm.
I have blocked him. Like I literally, as soon as I see what he's
Right.
doing, I immediately
The
block him. So,
sensationalism of it all.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
but recently was in a conversation with some of the
Mhm.
girls, and he has where he started was um just giving tips to the cisgender girls about DL men. Once that grift wasn't working as well as he thought that it would,
Mhm.
he has started to turn his ire towards the popular trans women, and has
Mm.
gone so far to send emails and to send DMs threatening and showing pictures,
Threatening.
like literally threatening violence against the girls,
Wow.
like literally, and popular girls like T.S. Madison, Cherry the Book,
Yeah.
like girls who are out here kind of making noise.
Mhm.
He is spewing transphobic rhetoric, just like a jaded butch queen. And this track, because there's a lot of butch queens who chase cisgender, straight, quote unquote, men's, particularly those DL
Exactly.
types, because they want to have access to that straight boy, and they think trans women with their feminine appearance
Mhm.
has a ticket to getting more men like that. And but they want to be like, yo, I know you think you're a woman, but you're not. I can get any man that you want. So they're in this like weird secret competition with trans women to get
Uh-huh.
DL men, to get
It
to,
does kind of. You talking about butch queens?
yes.
Because that be the same people that be funny around trans dudes. Not all the time, but like, statistically speaking, kind of similar kind of vibe where it's like, oh, you're trying to be in competition and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, yo, like, calm down, yo.
Yeah.
Yes. And
So
it can get kind of nasty, is my point.
absolutely. And
So
so
they just tend to have a problem with the transes because they got some issues with their own gender expression, it sounds like.
right. Or their mindset is they don't, because they don't acknowledge your identity, they still think of you as just a souped up faggot when it comes to trans women. So they're in competition with you because they're not actually thinking of you as a woman. They're thinking of you as a man that just have titties. And so they feel like, oh, we're in the same league. So
I
anyway,
mean, I
there are,
also think like with them, it's like this is a space where I can like prove my manhood. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it's a little weird because it's like they get accosted too around their gender expression, right? And that's kind of like how sometimes cisgender gay people, especially in the past, not as often now, would be like, well, shit on trans people to justify to as a defense mechanism around homophobia. When people are like, who's the real man or who's the real woman, they would shit on us around that. And I can see, at least in my opinion, I think that's an aspect of it as well, is their own defensive bullshit from being accosted and bullied for being gay and their own gender expression as cisgender gay men, you
right.
know, and taking that shit out on us and using us as scapegoats to feel, so they could feel like a straight man or whatever type bullshit.
Honey, it is gags that he is threatening the girls and
Like he
attempting
threatened
to.
to go to Madison's birthday party to fight her.
Yeah, she's not the only one. There are situations and recordings that I've seen of him being on various social media platforms like Twitter Spaces and making outright threats. And it's nuts to me. For one, is it's illegal. If I'm not mistaken, some of the
That
things I
part.
heard could be considered terroristic threats in Georgia. Um, and from my understanding, this person may be in Georgia. Maddie's party was in Georgia and he was threatening to go. So I'm assuming that he's in Georgia. But I mean it's crazy because this is literally the type of hate and obsession that causes any type of person or any demographic of person to hurt trans people. We've seen it in the news where it's been women, it's been black people, it's been white people, it's been men, commonly men, cis men, trans people hurting other trans people, gay people hurting trans people. It's like we get it from every corner, but it's crazy to me that somebody who is so public and is so recognizable is literally doing illegal shit on the internet that involves
Openly.
that involves taking people's life. And even if he is genuinely harmless and somebody with mental health issues beyond what I expect, because clearly there's something going on up there, or not going on. But no, seriously, if even if he is harmless, that rhetoric in itself could be perpetuating somebody else to do the shit that he's claiming to do or
Yeah, because
threatening
he's
to do.
calling to murder us. Like he's not, and not just in. I'm saying that himself threaten the girls, but he is also, the rhetoric that he's spilling online is to people that we should die. Not just the girls he's threatening, but all of us, that we should die. And I just felt like, what is, because that goes
Oh,
well past like clickbait. That goes well past like, oh, I'm just trying to get clicked. That goes to a particular kind of hate for the girls.
yeah, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I do think under that, some undergirding that is their own bullshit. Because you know how people, white women will step on black people, step on black women, step on black men, step on all of us, black whatever we're intersecting with any day, right? To have a little piece of white man, this cisgender, heterosexual, whatever,
Power.
dominant bullshit. Because all that shit's about power and control. You know what I mean? It's abusive. Racism is abusive. Transphobia is abusive. All that shit's about power and fucking control. I live somewhere where like cis gay white men were kind of at the top of the food chain, and shit gets funny. On the West Coast, major cities, it gets a little weird. So I can see. I mean, it was like an extreme place to see that, but I'm just saying I can see how a cis gay man who's butch queen who's like, I've done all the things and checked off the boxes to be a regular person, not just a gay person and all that other kind of bullshit, would feel so comfortable to violate the law openly and make open threats and think so little of us and step on us, particularly trans women, to try to make himself feel powerful and like a quote real man and all this other bullshit. Who's trying to get a real man and get with these DL men. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm sorry. Like I know we're not using crazy, but I'm using crazy because that right there is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Honey, we using
That's
crazy.
dangerous as fuck.
We're definitely using crazy.
So yes, I just wanted to bring that up because I just thought it was
We
super
yeah.
weird. I just thought it was super, super weird, and I wanted to hear your thoughts. But yeah, let us know what y'all think about. Have y'all been seeing the DO Whisper and his obsession with the girls, and what are y'all thoughts on it? Hashtag Marsha's Plate.
Honey, hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
Oh my God, I want to thank all of our new patrons this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay, 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 yay. So not only are you helping to sustain this particular podcast, I also donate to other podcasts. I donate to other organizations. I have my finger on the pulse of the community, and I know a lot of grassroots organizations that are doing great work out here. So you're not only helping to sustain us, you're helping to sustain other people in a community, because I put my money where my mouth is. That's just the kind of bitch I am. Community is fuck. So thank you. I really, really appreciate you. And if you have not become a patron, why have you not? You can donate as low as $1 a month. It doesn't matter. Anything helps. Please. Do I have to play Sarah McLachlan and show you puppies? Like, what do I have to do? Do I have to resort to what the white people do to get you to give them money?
Anyway, the link is in the bottom. Back to the show.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier, is what they say, bitch. But every time I look up, honey, they hardening on the bitch. Shit be hardening on the bitch. I'm telling you. It's supposed to be getting easier, but it be getting hardening to me, honey. Anyway, I don't know if y'all heard, but I imagine that y'all have. The Olympics has decided to implement a trans ban, and they're also going to be checking testosterone levels of cisgender women. And
Banning
if
them.
banning cisgender women if their testosterone level is over a certain amount, and they're judging that based on the averages of male testosterone. Because if you're not familiar with the endocrine system, most everybody naturally produces both testosterone and estrogen. It is just common for people assigned female at birth to produce more estrogen, and people assigned male at birth to produce more testosterone. However, without getting into the specifics, things vary because people are very we're creatures, and we come in variation. You know, there is a lot of gray areas, not as black and white and male and female and only two boxes as everybody likes to think it is. And if you're familiar with history, you know that we've been here before, and they stopped testing people's chromosomes. But anyway, I'm just curious on y'all response. How do y'all feel about this ban? I know me personally, I don't talk about sports much. And that's because I really don't care about sports, but I do care about trans people and I care about trans athletes. That's why this is on my radar. But what do y'all think?
I want it to be fair. If you want me to believe that you care about the fairness of women's sports, then for the biological reasons and the advantages of these the people who have testosterone levels that are different, if you want me to think you care about fairness and it's not just plain old misogyny, then
Right.
I need you to apply that same logic that you're applying to the women's side to the men's side. Are you banning cisgender men who naturally produce more testosterone than their other cisgender male counterparts? If you are not banning them for having a higher level of testosterone, but you are banning the women who have a higher level of testosterone, then it is just misogyny. You don't give a fuck about fairness. You care about policing women's bodies, and that is what you're doing. And you're pushing trans people out, but you're also pushing cisgender women out as well. And so, if you're not doing the same thing on the cisgender male side that you're doing on the women's side, it is just plain old misogyny. That's what it is. You see these amazing POC women, black, usually black women, natal born women, however you want to call it, and they have a natural advantage. That's what sports is. A fucking who has a natural advantage to go faster? Who got the natural advantage to swim faster? Who got the natural physical ability to have the advantage to go faster or score more or whatever the goal is? That is just what fucking bodies are about in sports. So if you're not doing the same thing across the board, bitch, you are just hating on these women who are killing the game because they have a natural advantage. And you are being a fucking misogynist. I think it's racist and misogynist, and that's what it is. It's not about fairness. That's my
Yeah,
thought.
yeah, I definitely won't be surprised if when we do start to see cis women be disqualified, I won't be surprised at all if the majority of those cisgender women are women of color. Because
That's what it is right now.
Diamond, you made a point about testing the men as well. And if I'm not mistaken, they were testing men in the past, and a lot of things went wrong, in the sense that a lot of men were finding out things about themselves that they weren't expecting, like their chromosomal makeup. So I believe that that is the original reason that they stopped doing chromosome testing in the Olympics, because we've been here before. But Jay, what do you think?
In my opinion, I think a piece of it, not all of it, but a piece of it too, is a part of this bigger thing that we're all dealing with. This kind of coalescing of white Christian nationalism bullshit that's happening across the globe. Because there's a lot of overcompensation that has to be done to feel good about, you know, colonialism and imperialism and make yourself feel good as cisgender white man. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. Um, and yeah, I think it is to police, you know, women's bodies, cisgender women's bodies, female bodies, is transphobic as fuck. Definitely think it's like, let's put these women in their place, because this is what we think women should be this, have this amount of testosterone in their body. We think women, if you have too much, that's not feminine enough. Like, I think it's all of that. I definitely think it's about, again, what we were talking about earlier, about power and control. And any sport that we get into as black people, we usually whip ass. We in tennis, we gonna whip that ass. We in golf, we gonna whip that ass. Gonna put us in hockey, we gonna whip that ass. Gonna put us in pickleball. I'm sure we gonna have a black pickleball champion. champion, you know what I'm saying? Put us in whatever, any sport where we're not the majority, we tend to come in and we do dominate. And that's just because we good at what we do. I agree. Yeah, I think it's misogyny. I think it's like good old, like you said, good old fashioned sexism, good old fashioned misogyny, all about power and control over other people's bodies. Because the suggestion, the idea of you having of a cisgender woman, quote, having too much testosterone in their body is an affront to their bullshit perception of, quote, womanhood and what they think that should be, and the things that check the box for that according to them. So yeah, I agree. It's some bullshit. It's some bullshit.
Let me say this. Another thing, because I think you lead down a point in regards to how they started to do this attack on Black women in particular, or and there's some people of color in there too, but particularly Black women of African descent. Uh, what we also got to understand is that Olympics is that kind of top level sport. And in order for you to get access to that top level training, that top level sport, there is a class thing that was involved for a very, very long time. In order for you to get access, even think about Serena Williams and Venus Williams, they really had to work hard to break that barriers to get Serena and Venus to play in tennis the way these white girls would have access to do. And so there's a class thing that was happening to where now some of those barriers are being broken down. So we have more access to be able to play tennis, to be able to run track, to be able to do gymnastics on this high Olympic level. Because when we think about even like 92 with Dominique Dawes, there wasn't a lot of Black girls prior to the 90s and there wasn't a lot of Black girls on these kind of high level gymnastic teams in the training. Do you see what I'm saying? So more Black girls are actually playing in sports than ever. I remember, I wasn't alive, but I remember it being discussed when the Romanian women, the white Romanian women, were hard and masculine and being tested for nobody was banning them at this level until it started to be in the Black girls. Yes, certain ones was kind of doing it, but no, it wasn't this big thing that's happening now. I think that what we're seeing now is at the intersection of racism, the hate for the Black girls coming in and finally getting access because the class is changing, getting access, and also the transphobia rising up. And so those intersecting things is making it hard for Black women, cis or trans, in any kind of physical situation where they can dominate. And so for me, when it was just the white girls out here kind of being a little too masculine and rough around the edges, it kind of was nothing. But now that the Black girls are coming in and winning gold and killing it, the Caster Semenya and the Dutty Chan in South Asia, when we have these women of color doing it now, oh my God, we gotta regulate, we gotta do this, we gotta ban, we gotta da da da, and the trans shit is coming up. Yes, I think that it's we're seeing it more because there are barriers being breaking down, and they hate Black women to win. And so I think that is something apart. I think that leads to what you were saying, because I didn't see it them discussing it when it was the white girls kind of being a little masculine during the communist thing.
Yeah.
Honey, that we even have a point in history where there had been countries who had literally attempted to cheat in the Olympics by using men or people who were assigned male at birth to play in women's sports. So it's funny that you bring that up, Diamond, because they didn't consider implementing this even when they had found white people doing it.
Right.
Yeah, I was just gonna say too, like a lot of the two things. Like I definitely feel you on the class thing. I think it's still a class thing. I played soccer very competitively. Thought I was gonna play. There was no national soccer league, women's soccer league like there is now. There wasn't the WNBA initially until a little bit later when I was in high school, but it was expensive. It's an expensive sport. My mom would say, yeah, he can play for your team if you can pick him up, take him to practice, make sure I get to these tournaments. Got to pay for the uniforms, got to pay for the tournaments, got to pay for like, you know what I mean? Like I remember the first time we went to get the soccer stuff, the cleats, the shoes, the all of it just for practice. And it was so expensive, and it was a whole thing. But yeah, you're paying for equipment, tournaments, transportation, camps, clinic. When you are talking about participating on a really high competitive level, especially, and it's not that many black people. To this day, like I still like all the black girls that we used to play together. And on that competitive level out there in Wisconsin, we all know each other. We still stay in touch because the shit was crazy. And a lot of the racist type of tropes that they're going to today for these women who are playing were the similar racist tropes that they were going to back then. And at the end of the day, what's underneath it is not talking about us as if we're human beings. It's about this whole subhuman bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's like underneath, like they using some oldies but goodies to a certain extent from even during human trafficking and sex trafficking, aka slavery. When it comes to dehumanizing black women and trying to deny them their womanhood. Yeah, because at the end of the day, what's going on? They want more white babies. Like low key, I do think a part of this is connected to this bigger thing that we're experiencing globally, but especially here about white Christian nationalism, by hook or crook, abortion, trans people, whatever. We want white women to look a certain way, and we want to make sure we talk about womanhood and women. We want to go back to that 50 shit. They're very clear. That's what they want. And so I do think a piece of this, since there's also some other weird shit with the Olympics, just with the politics around it. I think that could be an element in some of this as well.
I think it's interesting since we're talking about race and sports and we're talking about class and access. I think it's interesting. Me being a kid who grew up in the hood, I noticed that my cohort that was into sports and the people around me who did play sports, the Negroes that played sports, they somehow had access to basketball and football. Somehow the poor black kids had access to basketball and football, and I don't think it's a coincidence that those are two of the sports that are most damaging to the athlete's body. I don't think it's a coincidence that football is a more physical sport, yet they wear less pads than hockey players. I don't think it's a coincidence that in football the quarterback is commonly a white boy, and it's a whole bunch of big black Negroes protecting the white boy from getting hit. So yeah, I think that's interesting. But quick question before we roll off of this topic. I have a two-parter for y'all. Do you think it would be easier for them just to say no trans people in gendered sports? If you transition genders at any point in your life, you're not allowed to play in gendered sports in the Olympics. Now, co-ed sports, you're fine. And the second part to that question is, do you think we'll ever get to a day where trans people will be allowed to play in sports alongside cisgender people without an issue?
To your second question, no. To your first question, I think that would have been a cleaner thing to do. I think it's fucked up, but do I think it would? I think, you know what I mean? Because either way, you fucking up. You're being fucked up about it when it comes to trans people who are athletes and good at their craft. We know there's people who are trans and have been athletes and people did not know they were trans.
And
it wasn't a fucking issue. Right? Until later. Winning. Right, but I'm saying, like, there are folks, right? Like down the line, right? Where it was like, oh yeah, we didn't know this person was trans. And yeah, it's just I don't know, it's all kind of ridiculous to me. Because I do think there can be a way for trans people to play professionally, or technically you're not a professional when you're in the Olympics. You're supposed to like not, that's that whole thing. but I don't think that the commitment to making that happen in a way that is fair and comfortable for everyone, I don't think there's a commitment to that. I think there is a way for that to happen though, and I don't think that people who are trans, who are athletes, I mean, I've talked about this. Like I played, really competitive soccer, and what I saw in my future coming out of high school was either to continue to play soccer, to go into theater, which was very gendered. I played a lot of people's moms. I played a lot of scenes from Fences, the piano lesson, played a lot of women, right? And didn't necessarily feel comfortable continuing to pursue that, knowing like not all the things about being trans, but knowing like that something's up. And like the idea to continue to put so much energy into something that you're so passionate about, knowing that eventually you cannot continue. Like you probably can just, in my mind, it was like, I'm just gonna have to like ghost out. You know
Right.
what I
It's
mean?
going to be a ceiling. It's going to be a wall that you get to.
Right. But also just like, I'm gonna have to cut everybody off and cut everything off. So I did all this work because I kind of low key was on like, not like the blind side, but like we were broke. Like we weren't, my mom had a master, but we black. We doing black math. Oprah's billions ain't the same as the white man billions. As the white man's millions. Okay, so like, let's just be clear. You know what I mean? So my mom was saying y'all gotta pick Jonathan up, and all that kind of shit was real. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when as a black person, when you get some opportunities and you got to take this scholarship, and you got to take it was like that. I got this scholarship, and I'm hustling, going to this camp. I couldn't put that kind of energy, continue to do that, going after something that I felt like I was going to eventually gonna have to throw all away. Basically, that's kind of how I felt about it.
I would love for us to get to a point. I don't think it'll ever not be a problem. I think they're going to always make it an issue just because that's like the default. Transphobia is a default. But I would love to see people be creative about how we do shit. Think about how we do like open to all in the ballroom. Like when we think about what if we, of course we, separate them by gender, but what if just for shits and giggles, let everybody run together? Like
Do
let
co-ed, yeah,
for
yeah,
co-ed too. Like let's see. Of course, we know physicality. There's gonna be a difference biologically. We know that. We know that. But there are gonna be some people in that middle area.
yep,
There's gonna be some cis women that's gonna outrun the men, and there's gonna
yeah.
be some men that are not outrunning the cis women.
That,
And so for me, I feel like why not give it a try and see and just figure it out and just to see it. I
it,
also go ahead.
I was gonna say what you're saying really makes me think about a lot. I don't know how many folks live in places where a lot of the gay bars will have sports teams, right? A lot of times those teams are co-ed. In Madison, where I used to live, the gay hockey team was co-ed, and you had trans folks on the team. And yeah, I'm just saying what you're saying about being creative. Like the gay games is huge, and there's a lot of co-ed sports there as well. And it has such a larger platform than it used to. And just looking back too, it's like I don't know, what I would have thought my options look like today versus then. When you do have stuff like the gay games, and potentially there's other stuff that might come be created for everyone to participate, that is not so gendered. Yeah, to your point, Diamond. But yeah, just maybe think about that.
I also want to call this out too, just for the sake of history, so y'all can know that this happened. There was a person, a Polish sprinter by the name of Iwa Klobuchowska. I think that's how you pronounce it. She's from Poland, so I probably butchered that. But it's Ewa, EWA, Klobuchowska. She was a cisgender woman,
Booska.
something. So she was a cisgender woman who was banned from competing. This is in 1967. She was banned from competing in the female category after a controversial chromosome test. So she did have some, tests that said, "Ooh, you might got some Y going on in them chromosomes." And
Mhm.
they said that she was banned because of her because she, I guess, quote unquote, failed a chromosome test after them forcing her to do it. She had won a gold medal in the 100-meter relay and a bronze, not a gold, a bronze in the 100-meter dash in 1964. So the controversy and the sex testing controversy in 1967, when she would they were scrutinizing her appearance because she was looking quite butch and quite masculine, they actually banned her. But what was so funny is when they banned her, she was 21 and her career was basically over. She subsequently became pregnant and gave birth to a son in 1968, which clearly demonstrated that she had female reproductive capacity to have babies, even though
But
she had.
that's that's so wild too, because I'm sure she probably felt pressure to do that. And that's such a taxing thing on your body to have a fucking human being be born into it and leeching off of you to fucking survive. To
No,
try
she was married to her husband, so I don't think it was something she did
yeah, but
to do it.
back then too, though, people did have babies to just quiet people the fuck up. I'm just saying, like, that was a thing for lesbians. That was a thing for people who were perceived as lesbians. And yeah, I'm just saying, like, that was like people did have babies to please other people.
Yeah,
I
Those
I
are
know
social
mean,
that.
pressures when
I
I'm
don't
thinking
think
I,
it was her. I don't think that was her narrative. I think she was a cis het woman. She was dating a man. Her career was over, so she didn't have to worry about it. And this was 4 years later, and so she was like, "Yo, I'm in a relationship," and she had a baby. But what also the gag is decades later in 1967, I'm 1997, sorry, 30 years later, the Olympic Committee returned her medals to her because they had took them away. So they apologized and gave
wow.
her medals because damn, she had a baby. So
Right.
this actually happened to somebody, and it was a white girl, so I want to be very, very clear. But this is one
Who
incident
was Butch
who was more masculine and more
and
they
her presentation?
her presentation. Right.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, I just wanted to share that so y'all know that this is some history that's been going on. But like I said, it's coming up now more frequently because Black girls are coming into the conversation more often, and the trans conversation is intersecting with that. So, yeah.
but honey, let us know what y'all think. What do y'all think about the Olympic bans? What do y'all think about this testosterone testing for women in sports? And make sure you hashtag Marsha's Plate. Hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
So y'all know, they have the Target ban, and that's been going pretty well. Let us know if you are boycotting Target. Like, are y'all boycotting Target? That's my first question. Let me get back. I'll get back to my actual topic. But y'all boycotting Target?
Hell yeah. I've been boycotting Target for a while. I've never been a big fan of Target because Target is very white supremacy coded to me. And I ain't never forgot about
Mm,
the time that they wouldn't sell Frank Ocean's album because he had came out as queer.
mm. What about you, Diamond?
Oh, for sure. Disney,
Mm-hmm.
Hulu, because I didn't like how they was doing Jimmy Kimmel. So I unsubscribed from Hulu and Disney. What else? I've been doing Chick-fil-A. I don't fuck with them.
Mm-hmm.
What hurt me was Papa John's, so I ain't been doing Papa John's. for that since the first Trump presidency, 2016. So I'm pretty dedicated.
Word. So, okay. So I'm just saying I brought it up because I remember when the Target boycott first started. Some folks were like, "Ooh, this is gonna be real hard. I don't know if I can't stop going to Target and all this kind of stuff." And it picked up momentum, and obviously we've seen the impact on Target in terms of them losing money and their shares and all of that. And we're coming up on Black Friday, following Thursday, which is about the massacre and crazy bullshit of these white folks coming over here and trying to take other people's shit, aka Thanksgiving. But Black Friday is Black Friday, and then that's followed usually by Cyber Monday. And several organizations like Black Voters Matter, Indivisible, and Until Freedom have a campaign talking about we ain't buying it. And so that's a day where, we're not spending that money. And instead of shopping at big time retailers, some of the places they're targeting obviously include Target. Get it? Target is targeted. Anyway, um, Home Depot, Target, Home Depot. Who's another one they targeting? My bad. Target, Home Depot, and who is the other big box? Anyway, all of them. The point is, don't go to big box store. They're saying if you take cash, support local businesses, in particular, support Black-owned businesses, but don't spend online. Don't spend with a card. Don't spend with anything. If you have capacity, they're asking people to not go to work. Again, I'm gonna say if you have capacity, because we Black, and I know our math ain't the same as white people. So if you have capacity, they're also, folks are calling for a day to stay at home, do not go to work. But yeah, the main retailers are Amazon. I don't know how I forgot that. Amazon, Target, Home Depot. They all have backed away from their commitments to diversity and equity and inclusion programs after supporting them. And they all have capitulated to the orange guy. And so those are the main folks that they're targeting. And again, instead of shopping at those retailers, the campaign is encouraging folks to support businesses that have resisted Trump's influence, but in particular to support Black-owned businesses, businesses owned by people of color, immigrant-owned, local small businesses. Anyway, with all this going on, so I know we are boycotting Target and we're doing that, but I'm wondering for you, have you heard about this campaign, and are you preparing to not spend on Black Friday, quote unquote Black Friday, or Cyber Monday? Is this something on your radar, and is this something that you're prepared to do? Some people are saying the blackout system, and there's some other people that have a campaign, a part of this as well, are calling for a mass blackout scheduled from November 25th to December 2nd. Again, a mass blackout from November 25th to December 2nd. And those campaigns are with Blackout the System, Money Out of Politics Movement, and the Progressive Network. And that's a separate boycott. So, one, have you heard about both of these going on? And two, are you planning to participate in either one? Are you preparing for what that means for you to participate? Yeah.
For me, as somebody who worked in retail for a lot of years, I never really participated in the Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals because based on the numbers and the prices, it never was really I remember maybe 20 years ago, there was some really deep discounts, but now it don't seem like it's the discounts that we used to have.
Wait, Diamond,
So,
I don't mean to interrupt too. I just want to say this too. And electronics are so much cheaper because that used to be the big grab for a quote Black Friday was the markdown on the TV. Well, TVs that ain't the same no more.
Yeah, it's just not the same as the markdowns used to be more deep, and it was worse standing in them long ass lines because you could get a TV for $200. You get what I'm saying, you can get something, but I just don't think it's the same thing. And when I started to see how retailers was working, they will put something in the same price. It's like, oh, they doing buy three, get three free, but the price of the three is the same, the regular price. So it's just you just getting 50% off. And that's not you can get that throughout the year. What the fuck is you fucking it's just not it's just not sickening. And so
Mhm,
I thought that
mhm.
that was weird, and so I never really participated in that unless it was just something somebody who I know for a fact they're just giving deals, like certain boutiques stores that I shop with, who I know usually are expensive, and then they'll do a special deal. I'll fuck with them, but usually I'm not shopping during Black Friday. That's just never something
Mhm,
I got
mhm.
trained
Have
with.
you talked to any other people about this campaign? We ain't buying it for Black Friday or Cyber Monday. Have you heard of other folks talking about it? Is it something that I guess it's just a part of your social life right
Didn't
now?
I tell you about asking a whole bunch of questions before I get a chance to answer the first question? Didn't we already discuss that? You so damn disrespectful, honey. And
Why
y'all
not?
wonder
Okay.
why I
Come on,
only
Bree, let
like
us know. Let us know.
and y'all wonder why I only like men part-time, honey. I'm convinced that all of y'all is one track. I'm convinced that there's a man brain. That's been questioned in science, whether our brains are really that different between male and female. I'm convinced that it's a man brain. Anyway, no, I'm broke as a motherfucker. Y'all know I just moved in my house. I told y'all about the stunt that the cracker woman had pulled, snatching all this stuff up out of this house, honey. I've been fortunate enough to get a whole bunch of shit replaced. Shout out to the beautiful black women that I know that I have in my circle. Shout out to black women in general. Y'all are just a beauty, a treasure to this entire planet. But yeah, no, I'm broke as a motherfucker. Everybody know they ain't getting no Christmas gifts from me. Like Jay said, for me, when I did go out Black Friday, it was to get electronics, and it was usually to get TVs. Now I'm a content creator, so if I really want something that bad, I'll just hit up the company and try to do a campaign.
Also, listen, y'all need to stop saying people aren't getting gifts from y'all. You can give people gifts that don't cost no money. You can make them some cupcakes. You can make them some jams. You can make them some craft that you can do. You can give them gifts that cost no
Oh,
coin.
absolutely. Oh, absolutely. They
You keep
they're gonna
respond to
they're gonna
this. Yeah.
they're gonna get that. Let me rephrase. People aren't gonna be getting any material gifts that have a lot of monetary value to it, but they will definitely be getting the gift of Bree Star. But no, these days if I really want something expensive that bad, I'll just contact the company and be like, hey, I got such and such followers. What y'all want to do? We can make this work, honey. Trick or treat, a trick for a treat, honey. But I know that a lot of people don't have that luxury. So I'm really thinking about and praying for the families with kids, the families who celebrate Christmas, who have children. I'm praying for the families who have children who are expecting gifts on Christmas. I'm praying for the families who are struggling financially. It's a lot of families this year who have been scared that they weren't going to have Thanksgiving dinner. So I don't think a lot of people have even really thought as far as Christmas yet, especially a lot of underserved, underadvantaged people. Um, but that's where I'm at with it, honey. Fuck these corporations, bitch, honey. Fuck, child. I've been saying fuck these corporations so much. That's why the fuck I'm shadow banned. Let me shut the fuck up.
Listen,
I
listen.
I just
What
want
you gonna
more
say, Diamond?
dedication. I want
You
more
said what?
dedication. I want more dedication. I want more people to, I want it to last longer. I want it to be more people. I really want to see strike and do something really, really like tangible and effective. What I recall to this because we just saw how it worked. When we look at COVID, what COVID was a horrible experience because people were, locked in, getting depressed, getting abused more. People was dying, of course, of COVID. And so it was bad. But what it taught us is that when something happens to where the world stops, we stop motherfuckers to stop being able to be productive and make money and exploit us because we're stopped. Motherfuckers get shit done. They start doing things to
Mhm.
make shit work. And so I think if we all collectively stopped do what we're talking about doing just on a bigger scale, I think the changes that we want could come really, really easy. Because when you start affecting these people's pockets, it's like, ooh, what's happening? We need to reshift. And so I just wish it was more people on board and it being more effective because that's the only way we're gonna get these people. If they still making money, they are not gonna care.
Yo, period, period. And I'm all about grassroots power, and we have the power. We got electoral power, there's people power, and there's consumer power. And so that's what this is all about, is flexing that consumer power even more so than we did on Target. Um, and so we ain't buying it is the campaign that's being led by Black Voters Matter, Indivisible, and Until Freedom. And their whole point is to reclaim economic power, for us to redirect our spending to our businesses, support Black owned businesses and businesses that build your community, and to use this as a way to leverage our power to resist all this bullshit that's been going on, through the orange person and the Republican. And, actually, I'm going to stop saying through the orange person, because actually it's resisting the Republican Party, because this is the Republican Party. Like, it's not like we keep talking like Trump and the Republican. No, it's the Republican Party. He's their candidate. They're on board with the bullshit ass platform. I'm not, I'm gonna do better about not trying to separate the two, because they definitely are one. You know what I'm saying? They ran Liz Cheney ass on out of there and all that too, right? So like that's who the fuck they are. So it's resisting their evilness. What's the latest today, this week, around declassifying the professional status of being a nurse, like a nursing degree, because there's a lot of, women disproportionately in that field, in particular, Black women, women of color, Filipino women in nursing. And they've done this before too with nursing a while ago too, because you used to be able to get, not to go too much on a tangent, but they did this with nursing again before, because they thought too many Black women were getting ahead and becoming like surgical tech nurses and all this kind of stuff, where you didn't actually need a degree. You would get certified, and they changed it to needing a degree to try to deter Black women. And of course, Black women going Black women. And so that did not work. And now they're going to do that too, along with all the cuts to education and what have you, what have you. Just know you might have EBT in November and December, but January coming, February coming, they're going to be back in the shutdown. So they're going back to a shutdown. So just save your coins. This is another opportunity to save your coins if you are someone getting EBT, and plan ahead, because we're headed back into a shutdown in January. So anyway, I've definitely heard about it. I think I'm gonna try to do a better job of talking to people about it between now, and Friday. And even though you all are listening to this on a Thursday, you got time to talk to people about Friday and Monday. So definitely for Monday. And so yeah, I think it's pretty dope though. Like Gen X, millennials, for a lot of reasons. I was talking to a friend, I'm like, I feel like we dropped a ball in terms of leveraging our power. I think the Obama shit really put people into an energy of symbolism and feelings, and not talking about power and how to build power. And that was exploited, and I think it's great that we're starting, like you said, it's like, yeah, I mean, shit, we just did this shit with Target. Let's do this shit again. We got this. Like, hey, fuck these people. We are resisting, and this is one way to do it. And using the technology of today to do it, in a way that, shit, we not in churches the way we used to. So I'm glad that folks are using the technology and blending those things. Unlike, oh, we gonna do this white liberal shit over here and ain't gonna talk to the fucking churches, or some of the stuff with not every chapter of Black Lives Matter, but there were a lot who are like, we're not talking to the church because of homophobia. And it's like, okay, well, okay, all of them, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of a broad paintbrush right there, right? So I'm glad to see how this is in like different aspects of the Black community. It's in the Black church, it's in the mosque, it's in the temples, it's in the gay scene, it's in the trans folk. Everybody's social media got a little bit of something. Every different little pockets of our community are actually talking about this resistance and how we ain't buying it on Black Friday or Cyber Monday. So anyway, let us know what y'all doing. Have you heard about the campaign? Are you planning to reclaim, redirect, and resist on Black Friday, quote unquote Black Friday / Cyber Monday, and spend your dollars with Black-owned businesses like Marsha Play? You can hit us up on our Patreon, okay, and support this Black-owned business, okay. But yeah, let us know what you think. Diamond, Bree, any last comments on how we gonna reclaim, redirect, and resist this white foolishness with our We Ain't Buying It campaign?
The only advice that I would give is to organizers. I think that the message hasn't been getting out there about continuing boycotting since Target. I think everybody is aware of the Target ban, but we've kind of lost momentum since then because we haven't really been promoting. So I just suggest that more organizers get in touch with more content creators the same way we did with Target, and we can continue moving forward, I think.
All right, well, hit us up. Oh, Diamond, were you gonna say something? All right, well, hit us up. Hopefully, reclaim, redirect, resist. Hashtag Marsha's Plate. Bree, break it down.
Hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
So, Glad's latest Where Are We on TV report for 2024 to 25 seasons has indicated a impending decline in the number of LGBT characters due to high rates of series cancellations. So while this year actually has a high count, increasing count, slightly increasing. It went from 468 to 489 characters on TV. That's a significant portion. But why they are warning in this report that the decline is happening is that the characters for by next season, next year, there's a lot of cancellation of shows. So there's an upcoming decline, like 40%. So once these shows that are being canceled who had representation, it is going to drop, like confirmed cancellations. It is going to drop from 489 LGBT characters to 201 after the cancellations. So that's like a 41% drop. And they are not going to return due to the series ending. So shows, so we're talking about shows, limited series. This is the format that they talk about, that they're counting, or simple character departures. So also platform trends, representation on broadcast and cable television network when it comes to LGBT characters, has always been continually declining for a long time. While the streaming services has been carrying diversity on its back, the streaming services were the ones who had the increase of LGBT year after year, but now they all are declining, especially bisexual representation and transgender representation. For the third consecutive year, bisexual representation has went down like 20%. Um, but while the raw number of trans characters increased slightly, once these cancellations happen, it's going to be a 61% down of them not returning on their shows. Last but not least, um, characters of color. Characters of color make up over, and when we say characters of color, we're talking about everybody of color, make up 51% of all LGBT characters. There was a slight increase. Although specific demographic, that's why I have my shirt that says not POC, black, because we have different issues. Specific demographics like Black characters, Indigenous characters, and Middle Eastern characters and North African characters have all seen a decrease. So while we had an increase of POC, we did not have an increase of Black, specifically Black characters. They have decreased. And so I wanted to talk about this and ask y'all, what do y'all think about this? Of course, this is residual effect of our culture going to the right. How do y'all feel about this decline coming up? What do y'all feel are going to be the ramifications over time?
The first thing that comes to mind is the numbers are dropping now, and we're prepared for the numbers to drop next year. But I'm curious about the numbers for the year after. Anybody who knows anything about production, television production, even if you're a content creator, you know that there's a turnover time for the public to consume your art versus you making it. For some people, that turnover time may be a day. For some people, that turnover time may be hours. In Hollywood, that turnover time tends to be months or years. By the time we, the consumer, get the product, whatever they're creating in Hollywood, right? So I'm thinking about the fact that we know that there's a lot of companies that capitulated to Trump. There's a lot of countries. I mean, there's a lot of companies, a lot of film production, TV production companies that are following the right agenda because we have a far right president. MAGA is in office. So a lot of people are attempting to appease. We know that they've canceled a lot of diversity, equity, and inclusion. We know that they're canceling a lot of affirmative action, which essentially is the same thing. Um, so I'm imagining that this cut and this decrease is people's response to Trump's presidency. However, I'm curious to see if the numbers change now that people have seen Jimmy Kimmel come back to the air. Now that people have seen how much money Disney lost in agreeing to cancel Jimmy Kimmel or suspend Jimmy Kimmel. Um, I'm curious on how these companies are going to react once they realize that a lot of these far right voices are exaggerated by the internet, and this country is not very far right. Even for the people who are MAGA, they may have voted for Trump, but a lot of those people, most of those people don't have far right ideals. I mean, at Republican rallies, Grindr is a hot spot. So clearly, I'm curious on what the future looks like. I think that this is just a response to Trump being in office and DEI being stomped all over.
You think it's going to make a turnaround?
I'm hoping. I'm hoping, but in this day and age, Diamond, I realize that I don't know as much about human behavior as I thought. So I'm hoping that it'll be a turnaround, but I'm not surprised if the people don't turn around. I have a hard time believing that we'll ever go back to the 1950s and 60s. But based on what I've seen, I'm reminded that I'm a never say never kind of person.
I mean, we kind of there, depending on what you need, like
It's
abortion
not
access. State by
No,
state.
no shade, no
You
shade.
have, this black woman just got rejected from the hospital. I think was it in Indianapolis from the
Uh-huh.
hospital?
Yeah,
He gave
yeah,
birth on the highway.
yeah.
About women dying. There's an infant mortality crisis when it comes to assigned female at birth black people down in Mississippi and a lot of southern states. You know, like we're there now. We are so there now. We got slave catchers out here with ice, literally snatching people up. Like we are in some weird ass times. Um, I mean, I know that's not the 1950s, but shit, same difference. Vigil anti-violence on black and brown. Like, mm.
Oh, that's all.
But what Diamond?
That's always, child. We a little.
It ain't never ceased. Right,
Yeah, they ain't
exactly.
never ceased. But
Thank you.
I think
Thank
we
you.
have a little bit more leg up. And
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. The whole situation with all of the quote advancements for black people, queer people, trans, all that shit's a part of the Cold War. But when you choose to be on the side of the axis of evil, you don't got that leverage no more. Or to say, see, we're better than the communists. See, democracy is freedom and all this other bullshit. That's the only reason why in the 1950s, in the 1960s, in the 1970s, that you see the quote social progress. They weren't planning on that shit. It just was convenient. That's why the US said, let's be nice to these black countries. We could see they decolonizing over there. You get what I'm saying? In the 1950s and 60s, like it was about this bigger international situation that opened the door to that social change. That's why when we did our shit, black folks protesting, they had it in the papers internationally to say, see how the US, they don't let black people vote. How they saying they better than communism? How they saying they better than China? How are they saying they're better than Russia? How are they saying they're better than Cuba? And for folks who don't know, in World War II, they had these quote the allies, quote unquote allies, the United States, France, England, or what have you, and then the quote axis of evil. And the quote axis of evil was what was it, Germany, Japan, Franco in Italy, what have you, right? The fascists. Right? And you know what I'm saying? So, and anyway, point is the United States and Russia worked together to defeat the Nazis. And afterward, we have this quote Cold War. And they used to have that Berlin Wall that came down. And so we were on the side, quote unquote, on the side of freedom, quote unquote, on the side of the Allies, even though black soldiers came back and got lynched in their uniforms, right? But that was our leverage, a lot of our leverage for a lot of social change. And we just don't got that no more because, we got Orange. And Orange is like, yo, I'm down with down with fascism. So here we are. So anyway, but just it's important to know that because that's kind of behind a lot of what's going on. But anyway,
the reports, what my mindset about it is this report, I know that narrative work and storytelling is a way people is an invitation for people to see our humanity. And so if they have less access to our stories and our narratives and actually seeing our real lives, whether it be stories told through a fictional character or stories being told nonfiction, like doing seeing documentaries and just journalism that deep dives into our stories and our lives. I think that if you have less of that in a time when there is an uptick of this kind of anti-trans, anti-LGBT rhetoric, I think it's just going to make the situation worse. And so I hate to see that this rollback is happening, but I think that, like I just said, we are in a different place in time. We are not in the 50s. I know there are some things that are remnants happening and they're trying to do things and going back, but we have tools at our fingertips. We can share our own narratives. We can share. Look, we have a podcast where we are sharing our individual stories and discussing other people's stories. We haven't got to the point that like Nazi was with shit. They shutting shit down, or even in China. I'm not saying that they're not trying to attempt to do this kind of stuff, but we are not there yet. And so we can actually put our stories out. We can actually share a better narrative and share. We're still in a position of power to be able to do that, where the fascist hasn't, they're not there yet. They don't have the full power of controlling the propaganda and controlling the word, controlling what's going on. Now, I'm not saying that they're not trying to get there, but they're not there yet. So don't be defeated, and make sure that you are still being an artist and being creating and putting your art out there and putting your stories and your books and your documentaries. And like, we have the power to put our stories out there and create characters in our books, in our plays, and you get what I'm saying? We have way more leverage now than some of our ancestors had. Think about like August Wilson and these great plays like we mentioned Fences earlier, Fences and Piano Man and all these kind of things. They didn't have the same leverage that we have today, and they were still making their art and putting our stories out there. And so I don't want us to be discouraged because we are not there yet. I want you to still create characters and create and put our stories out there.
I agree with everything but saying we're not there. Yeah, I think we're in it, right? Because that's how it happened there. They didn't overnight be extreme. It was the drip, 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 drip over like a decade or so. And I think we're in that drip, but I create, you know. I don't think it should stop us. I think, like you're saying, like, to me, we're on the same page. I think it actually should empower us to continue to create and resist this. And
I think it
I
will.
also
I think that's the silver lining. I'm a silver lining in a piece of bullshit kind of girl.
hold on.
During times like this when we have political strife, when we have extreme oppression, comes some of the best art. Pressure makes diamonds, and I think that artists in periods like this, when there is social strife, political strife, I think artists tend to be more motivated. I think artists tend to be more inspired because I think that most artists tend to pull from dark places. Even comedians, even people who make beautiful art, they tend to pull from dark places and they pull from struggle. And I think that that's where a lot of their creativity comes from. So I think what's going to end up happening, my prediction is that we're going to end up seeing more Black and or LGBTQ plus content creators with higher quality content. And again, I think that that is the silver lining in AI. I'm not a fan of AI at all, but AI mixed with um, artists going through a dark period in society, I think we're going to get some jewels. I definitely think that there will be another Issa Rae on the horizon.
I'm hoping to like that more of us will come together outside. Like I do think I think for a lot of millennials, people think that white ice is colder. And so I'm hoping that folks are starting to realize that white ice ain't colder, it's ice. And that people start utilizing and investing in Black owned platforms, Black owned businesses. I don't know much. I'm kind of analog girl still, but check out Fanbase and other Black owned social media platforms where you're not going to get shadow banned and you can get money back on your shit because we know the shit's going to get worse. So I'm hoping that this actually, you know, it helps people to invest in Black owned, Black centered, not even Black centered, Black owned spaces, period. Also, I think I was thinking about the character thing, having less characters. It's like there's not as much scripted TV either. It's a lot of bullshit on TV because we're in this anti-intellectualism moment. That's why they're trying to defund the fucking schools. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like real talk. Like where are the schools the worst? Down south, because then white people got and they just spread that Southern strategy everywhere the fuck else. So everybody up north and shit in the Midwest out here defunding their schools because Black people getting a little something.
to piggyback off of your point, Jay, being somebody who I think is a little more informed with pop culture, especially Gen Z pop culture, these kids are very much falling for the anti-intellectual. They're looking up to and aspiring to be sex workers, strippers. Not saying that there's anything wrong with exotic dancing or sex work, but who's going to be the engineers? Who's going to be the scientists? You know what I mean? And a lot of kids are being comfortable with the idea of growing up being addicts because we are making addiction more acceptable in our society. Not saying that addicts should be demonized. You know, again, that's my territory. But I don't think that kids should
and
think.
and that's what I'm saying. It's like there are, we not a lot of the media that's being consumed is not the same media that we consume. We consume black owned media. We have access to more black owned media, black owned TV, black TV, black ad agency had their own commercial. Like this is white people making shit to target black people, and so this is what we get. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that we all start to value us and invest in spaces that are built by us. And if we don't like those spaces, we say, hey, here's a suggestion instead of being like, fuck you. I mean, they're not like white people. You know what I'm saying? Because they ice ain't colder and clearly it's very dangerous and poisonous. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's not consistent because when they want to shadow ban you, they shadow ban you. When they want to drop you, they drop you. When they want to feed you bullshit and not actually also feed you some other shit, they say, oh, we just gonna feed you this and we're not gonna feed you other shit and make it easily accessible. You know what I'm saying? So like that's some real shit, you know, depending on where the fuck you live. But yeah, I do think yeah, I think we're all kind of saying similar stuff. Like I think I'm hoping that it's gonna produce, I hope that we take advantage of this moment to kind of reassess and build amongst ourselves more moving forward because we ain't gonna be able to depend on they shit. You know, we have to depend on us and build with us, you know.
So, yes, I totally agree. I think that it is time that we get into our creative bag. Our ancestors have told us, we Black feminists have told us, like, listen, this is a time that art is going to show us the way to go. It's usually the first frontier of change, and there's going to be a pendulum swing back up. And so this is a time to create and do and let your art move people. So let us know what you think about this decline, this report from GLAAD in this decline of LGBT characters on our media and TV. And yeah, let us know what you think. Hashtag Marsha's Plate.
Hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme you the feeling and the high you never come down from. Whoa.
What is bringing y'all euphoria this week?
Ooh, I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go first because it's been a lot of euphoria. Y'all know I went to LA, so I want to give y'all a quick update from my LA trip, honey. It was cute or whatever, you know what I mean? It was no, it was really a beautiful trip. You know, Tony told us that it never rains in Southern California. Well, all of the Tonys is a motherfucking lie. I wanted to tell you that because it was raining when I got there. Honey, it rains when I was leaving. Honey, I brought the rain and I took it with me, apparently, but it was still a vibe. Um, Hollywood was Hollywooding. You know, I know that it is a big talking point that it is hard for Black women, especially plus size Black women, to date in LA. Baby, I don't know. Maybe I was getting a false perception, but they was on my body. They was on your girl body when I tell you, honey. Maybe they don't get enough black and enough plus size out there, honey, because when I tell you the children was gagging and they was on my pipe like a plumber, bitch, I'm telling you. Anyway, it was a beautiful trip. Now, I will point out that none of the people who was on my body were black men. Nope. Well, not black cisgender men. Let me correct that. So yeah, so if you're looking for niggas, they might not be there for you. But no, I do want to also mention that I got closure. I started telling y'all about me going back and forth with the idea of doing more expose content, doing more content where I'm exposing people. We spoke about the DL Whisper earlier, and anybody familiar with my content knows that I've exposed DL men before, who have lied to me about being DL. Um, it's happened to me quite a bit. I have been keeping receipts from when I was dating, before I met my current partner. And I think over this past weekend, I got closure. I got closure on that journey. Well, not even closure. But I think that journey has come full circle, and I think that I've gotten a sign from the universe, to go ahead and put out this series of content that I've been producing and creating behind the scenes. And essentially, it's going to be some liars, cheaters, and DLs who get exposed in the process. But hey, ain't nobody tell them to be out here playing with people's emotions, honey. They lucky I didn't. Some people will get their life taken playing with other people's emotions. So the idea of somebody making content out of you that you are aware of, it could be a lot worse for you, darling. But I'll see y'all over there. What about you, Jay? What's if you can stay
Bree,
if
Bree,
if you
what?
can
You said what?
if you can get in a position, I would love to know your euphoria other than being in my house. It's also bringing me euphoria that Jay
Oh,
is here. Jay is
that's
recording.
bringing me euphoria too.
Yes,
Being
Jay
at your
is.
crib.
Yeah.
Besides being at Bree's crib, that's bringing me euphoria and having like Black Trans Magic over here together. What's also bringing me euphoria is I went to okay, I kind of got red. So I went to the Pride Center of Maryland, which is very black. And one of the people up front was like, hey, so I'm like, hey, tell me, what kind of services, programs, woo doo woo doo woo doo woo. And it just so happened that night they were doing a mini ball, which was cute, related to some of their events for leading up to Trans Day Remembrance. And in addition to that, I kind of got red. They said, oh, we also have this silver circle. Again, they said we also have not gold, not bronze, red, black, or green, nor green. They said silver circle. And I said, well, that's great that you have that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I said, they said, how old are you? I said, 43. And they said, well, yeah, it's silver enough for here, okay? Because we're the blacks and we're the queers and the transes, right? So, and I had to pause, for the cause of the silvers. You're wearing silver today, Diamond. I was feeling a little something, but then when I took a moment and I thought, well, shit, in the alphabet years, I came out damn near 30 years ago.
You is not no silver child.
Well, shit. I'm just saying if we're gay, for our community, that's a long time. You know what I'm saying? Almost 30 years ago, 27, 28 years ago. I first came out in 98. I was running in gay bars since then, and I'm tired sometimes. That is a long time. It's not forever, but it's a minute. Anyway,
You are
so
middle
they told me,
aged. You ain't no silver.
but what they said was, yeah, that's considered silver. So
That's
they actually, no. I'm saying like there were other people there in their 40s. So it's like 40s, 50s, and up. And so, it was cute at the event where I was not the only 40 something. So that felt good. Um, but it was cute. They had karaoke, they had, free food, they had free drinks, they had um yams, green beans and potatoes, chicken, potato salad, barbecue chicken, some turkey, ham for the folks that dine with swine. You know what I mean? All the sides were vegan or vegetarian because they blackity black in a place that's blackity blacks. And it was good. And that brought me euphoria. And it was cool to see, it was cool to be in an intergenerational situation. Like literally there were people there between their 40s and probably like 80s. And it was really fucking dope. Just to be in that space. And it was packed. It was like at a spot, it was probably like 40, 50 people came through there. Like it was nice. So that's bringing me euphoria. It was nice to be, and it was also like it wasn't just cis gay men and women. No, it wasn't just cis gay men and women. It was trans women, trans men, trans femme, trans masculine, masculine center, butch, queer, like all kinds of gender expressions and identities represented. Um, so that was really cool too, because a lot of times when stuff is done for the community, quote unquote, the community, and even though they weren't like this is explicitly a black thing, but Baltimore's a very black city, so it was mostly black people. So, but oftentimes when stuff is done for the community, it's mostly just like cis gay men. You know what I'm saying? And so it was nice to be in just to be in the space and really see all the different representations. Um, just have different representations of our community. It was very beautiful. It brought me a lot of euphoria, and the food was good, and it was free. 99. They had some resources. You get tested, check your blood pressure, and all those good things. Okay. We just heard about Donald Glover, Charles Gambino having a stroke. So it was cool that they had, blood pressure. And they said, look, we'll come check it every 4 months, whatever. But it was nice because it was very us, the governance structure, not the social structure, but us, meaning us where we're at. And so it was beautiful to participate in that. And everybody was so, kind and just very, very welcoming. So it brought me a lot of euphoria. What about you, Diamond? What's bringing you euphoria this week?
Oh, so two things brought me euphoria this week. The first thing is really quick. I met the beautiful Tempress, Chastity Moore, also known as Chastity Moore, Ballroom Girl. She is the one of the host of is it Film Crazy Sexy Cool podcast?
Femme Queen, crazy, sexy, cool.
Femme Queen Crazy Sexy Cool podcast, Tempress. I met her in Atlanta this week, and this was we've been knowing each other for years and on each other friends list, but we had never met each other in person. And we were staying at the same hotel, and I come up the elevator going to my homegirl's room, and she is coming towards the elevator, and it was like, oh, hey, and we kind of hug, and it was a quick meeting because we both were headed to places, but I had never met her in person, so me meeting her in person was really a joyous thing because we've been knowing each other for so many years, but never in meeting in person. And so that brought me euphoria. And also, yeah, make sure you check out Film Queen Crazy Sexy Cool podcast because they've been bringing the heat this season with Tracy Africa, and just some of the episodes this season has been super super dope. And check last season too. So they're I think their podcast is great. Also what's been bringing me euphoria is the new season of Squid Game Challenge. If you have never watched Squid Game, there are two different versions. There is the version where it's scripted, like it's a fictional script where where it's actors playing roles, and then there's a live one with real people playing games, and they get eliminated. So I really really enjoy the live one, and so the new season of the live one just came out, and I've been watching it, and some black people is in it, a lot of black people, and they last a lot of time real far in the scene. I just got finished, so I don't want to ruin it for anybody. So it's just some really really good dynamics in the whole situation. It's a bunch of like it's some twins, it's a father and daughter combo, it's a brother and sister combo. It's a lot of little small alliances and just these things that are kind of that makes the that makes the story and the stakes higher. Um yeah, it just was it was this was a really really good season too, just like last season. And it brought me euphoria watching it this week because it was like, oh, I really enjoy this. I would love to play this game because it just lets you kind of get you in the mindset of how people work and how some things, people have a strategy, but they could be being fake, they could be being real, and how being a good person can help you, but it also can hurt you. Being a bad person can help you, and it also can hurt you because it can put a target on your back. Then they force you in situations where you have to make these horrible decisions, or you got to kick your dad off, or kick your brother off, or kick your sister off. It's so many things because you don't know what game you're gonna play, and so sometimes people partner up because they think they're gonna be safe, but then they'll put you against your partner.
Wait, is this kind of like Survivor?
It's hard to explain it, but basically they bring a bunch of people. You've never watched it at all? Okay, so you need to watch it. It's really, really good. So they bring a bunch of people. So it's like 600 people into a room, and the goal is you at the end you got to be the last one standing, one person. And so it narrows down from 600, well 400 something, a bunch of people, like 480, 600 something, and it narrows down to one. But it's a bunch of games. So really right in the beginning they split it in half. Like you got to do this, it's different games that you have to do to play, but it's also little trivia, little questions, little they give you like little immunity, like you can kick people off.
Sense.
It's really, really good.
I mean, let me find out it took Squid Games to potentially get Diamond Stylz on reality TV, honey.
Oh, I would never do it. I'm not, yeah, I'm not.
I'm secretly over here plotting like that would be a huge springboard opportunity for Marsha's plate. What if we both get picked?
That would be funny. I don't know if I would
It
have,
would be funny because I think everybody would predict that I would throw you under the bus.
and I'm poor, so I don't have enough time to be going and like doing something that takes that long. I need to make money. I'm not, if I was more,
They better be paying people at least per diem to be there.
no, no, they're not. No.
Hell no. That's why there ain't no niggas on there. You lucky you got the few niggas you got this season.
Taking a chance, baby, for a couple of weeks, and I'm like, I don't know if I have I don't. But if I was gonna do a reality TV show, it would be something like that because I don't like Real Housewife type of stuff where they gotta be in your house. I like going to the shit. Survivor would be cute. I wouldn't want to do Survivor, but this sounds fun. This sounds like more exciting and dramatic. So yes, it is basically a bunch of rounds of games and tests. And so let me give you a perfect example. They not chained like chained, but they locked five people's feet together, not like harm. They just put them in that, and get they supposed to jump together, and they jump to like a relay race. They jump together, and each station has a different game. So one game was building a house of cards. So you had like a two-layer house of cards. So one person has the assignment of finishing each game. So that one is a house of cards, and then once she finishes, the five people jump to the next one. So they tied together, so they have to walk together. And so then the next game is you got to throw this thing and hit this. And once you knock it down two times, then you finish the game. And then another one, you got to kick this ball times in the air. They do different games. So
it's not like Survivor or what's face, all that stuff where you run, jumping over stuff, and
it's not like that.
It's not as extreme.
It's not extreme. It's more brain stuff. It's not like outside in nature. It's like a setup mental thing. But there's some things that you do that's physical too. Because it's like this one room, it's called Mingle, where in the middle of the room it's spinning around when the music, like a carousel, everybody is on the carousel, da 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 da, and spin around. When the music stops, everybody, there's rooms all around, and they give you a number. Like it can be like the number could be 2, the number could be 6, the number could be 10, and you have to bring that number into the room, no more or no less. If you have too many in the room, everybody get killed. If you have, but everybody outside, not literally killed, but eliminated. But if you whoever is left outside the room, they are eliminated. So you're trying to get in a room with a particular number. So say the number is 7, you got to get 7 people in the room. But you know the number is skewed to where there's going to be some people left out. And there are certain teammates that you like. If you got a sister, you want to make sure she in the room. It's so good. It's so good.
You need to go over there and bring working magic. See what you can do.
It's so good. So yeah. So and then they'll have little secret meetings to where the people who's running it will give you a little coin, and they'll say, "You got this coin. You get to eliminate one person." But they don't know that you got the coin. It's all kind of secret little stuff. So it's called Squid Games. Watch it. It's really good. And so that's what brought me Euphoria this week, watching it. And yeah, Squid Game Challenge. So the Squid Game, the scripted show is just normal Squid Games. That's on season 3. But Squid Games Challenge is the actual real people participating to get the $1 million. And so yeah, check it out. All right, y'all. Well, that's what brought us Euphoria this week. Let us know what brought y'all Euphoria this week, and we will see y'all next week. And happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your families, enjoy your people, and yeah.
Or not happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Indigenous Peoples
Day. Fucking colonizer day. Yeah.
Right.
We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us, okay?
You are totally right.
People. Damn it.
Yes. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day, and shout out to all my Indigenous, Latinx, and South American, honey. Hasta luego.
Absolutely.
We love y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Well, that's it. Thank you for coming and getting a taste of Marsha's Plate. You can listen to us on iTunes and SoundCloud. Make sure you leave a review because we really need those 5 stars, y'all.
And go like our Facebook page and leave some comments. We'll be posting exclusive content every Thursday, so you definitely don't want to miss out.
You can also follow us on Twitter and any other social media site at Marsha's Plate. If you'd like to donate or advertise with us, hit us up at diamondstylz@gmail.com. That's diamondstylz@gmail.com.
And that's it for us, y'all. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You gonna say bye, Mia?
Oh, bye, y'all.
Every little thing's gonna be alright.